Hi there, welcome to Dave Reviews. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. If there's any way to improve my videos, please tell me in the comments down below. Just to let you guys know, this is a channel for Marvel, DC, anime, comics, movies, shows, games, and more. So, what's a better way to start off this channel than with Marvel's first family? And by first family, I mean the Fantastic Four. If you didn't know already, the Fantastic Four has been around ever since the 1960s. There have been 3 animated series.
Ring, do your thing!
Cameos in other animated series and movies as well.
I didn't, I don't... Woo!
So far, there have been 4 Fantastic Four movies, soon to be 5. And so far, these live-action adaptations haven't been that great. But yet, I believe the Fantastic Four can work. A good way to improve on a movie is to learn from your mistakes. So let's look back at the original 4 Fantastic Four movies to see what they got right and what they got wrong. So first of all, let's talk about the unreleased Fantastic Four film. This film was made to hold the rights to the Fantastic Four. You can actually find this film on YouTube right now. I'm not going deep into the background of what happened with this movie or anything like that, so you can go check out this channel right here. First of all, I'm just going to talk about the bad. Number 1 is Reed and Sue. Although it's comic accurate, it just feels weird. This version of Reed basically waited until Sue was the right age so he could get with her. That's some weird stuff right there, and Johnny allowed it. That's his own sister, by the way. Problem number 2 would be the effects. I know this is an old movie, but Jesus, it's bad. For its time, it probably was good, but this movie made me want to gouge my eyes out.
Flame on!
Luckily, I did find some of the scenes to be actually pretty funny. That brings me to my first positive. The costumes in this movie are comic accurate. Sure, they look very cheap, but at least they stuck to the comic's design. That also means Dr. Doom as well, although his voice wasn't up to par. Another positive would be the design of the Thing. Sure, you can tell it's fake, but at least they made it practical and they added some animatronic stuff to it. Overall, it's just a cool design. They even added in the eyebrows. My last positive for this movie is the origin story. It's comic accurate and I can't argue with that. That brings me to the next movie, Fantastic Four 2005, made by Fox. Now this movie to me will always be special because this is my first version of the Fantastic Four and I just enjoyed this movie.
Can we talk about this later,
No,
guys?
we can't talk about this later.
We can do this at home. Where's my ride?
Totally stop.
No matter what people say about this movie, it will always hold a special place in my heart. So first off, the positives. Number 1 would be the casting. These characters were casted perfectly. In my opinion, the best castings for this movie were Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm. Sue Storm was okay, I guess, and Dr. Doom was basically a ripoff of Norman Osborn. My second positive for this movie would be the costumes. They just look like great costumes, they're sleek, and I like the tone of blue they went for. Dr. Doom's costume is actually okay, but there's just not enough green. Plus, at the end of the movie, he becomes naked.
And flicker.
The standout characters for me have to be Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm. I just love Ben and Johnny's relationship. It's like a brotherly bond of sorts, and I just love that.
Johnny!
My fourth positive would have to be The Thing. It's a practical suit, and Michael Chiklis is just so good in the role.
How much is The Thing is chronically in this movie. The Thing voice comes right out of me, just like this.
His voice just fits the character so well.
It's clobbering time.
Now the negatives of the film. This film is not perfect by any means. It has some flaws that I think could be fixed over time. It is kind of a slow burn though, and you do kind of feel the runtime of this movie. Another negative of this film is the family aspect. They don't start feeling like a family until the end of the movie. That's because they're always bickering, but I still love it for that. Another negative would be Dr. Doom. Now, I already said he's just a ripoff of Norman Osborn, but this character is barely even in the movie. By the way, I forgot to mention this, but the music hits so hard in this movie. This will always be my Fantastic Four theme. That brings me to the sequel of this movie, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer from 2007, also made by Fox. This movie takes things from the first movie and makes it even better. The standouts would have to be Reed Richards, Johnny Storm, Ben Grimm, and the Silver Surfer. These guys just carried the movie. Sue is still okay, I guess, and Dr. Doom is back, of course. Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm's relationship once again shines. It's just so good. And I have to even say it's better in this film than the first one.
So, seems like you and Alicia are doing well. Annoyingly so, in fact.
Yeah, I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah, you are. Question for you, though. How do you guys,
That's none of your business.
Okay, all right, I'm just concerned. I'd hate to wake up one morning and find out she was killed in a rock slide.
I'll show you a rock slide.
The scene where Johnny and the Silver Surfer have this chase is the best scene out of the whole movie.
Time to end this.
Can we talk?
Okay, you win.
Another good scene would be when they show off the Fantastic car. It's just so great to see that.
Holy crap.
Reed, this is by far the coolest thing you have ever done. Hemi? Of course.
So the Silver Surfer in this movie is actually pretty good. His suit was practical, but it was overlaid with CGI. Some of it still holds up, but in some ways I wish they kept the practical design. But they do show off the practical design a little more when he's depowered. Another positive I can give this movie is the scale feels big. Now for my negatives of the film. So right off the bat, I have to talk about Galactus. Although he is a eater of worlds in this movie, he just looks bad. So the effects in this movie are a major upgrade from the original unreleased Fantastic Four film. Some of the effects do hold up today and some of it doesn't, but it's the best the Fantastic Four have looked. The best they've looked so far out of these movies has been The Rise of the Silver Surfer. Now here's a channel I'm going to recommend you because his review is kind of similar to mine. So go check out the channel Brown Table. It's actually a pretty good review and I got some laughs out of it. Now for the final Fantastic Four film, Fanstic 4. I'm not kidding you, I went to see this movie in theaters when I was younger and I thought the movie was so bad. Believe me, it is bad, but Jesus, it's bad. Like, who let the director of this film actually have control. I understand that this is a more realistic and darker take, but don't let this man cook again. They even had the audacity to put the same studio who brought X-Men Days of the Future past. I'm not even going to talk about it that much, it's just a bad film overall. But the only positive I can give this movie is the Thing. The size of the Thing is perfect and the CGI is actually okay. But the only thing wrong with this Thing, where are his pants at? So the new Fantastic Four film, Fantastic Four First Steps, hasn't come out yet, but I expect great things from it. They can learn from the original films that came before, and they can even learn from TV shows. Like for Doctor Doom, they can take inspiration from the comics, and a TV show that they should take inspiration from is Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That Doctor Doom is actually really good. There also needs to be a relationship between Johnny and Ben. They also need to take their time with their visual effects. They also need to take their time with writing in a good story for Reed and Sue. And from what I'm seeing so far from this movie, it's gonna be great. Thing is gonna be practical, maybe overlaid with CGI, of course. There are gonna be sets built and an actual location for this movie. And sure, the costumes may look trash right now, but they are just starting off with these costumes. It's not gonna be their final one. So that's pretty much going to be the ending of this video. I want you guys to tell me down below what you guys expect for this new Fantastic Four film. And remember, please like and subscribe and tell me if I need to fix anything with my videos. And this is so I can improve for you guys. So be safe and keep the community clean.